time has come. The Mistress of Poison has finally arrived. A.K.I is in Street Fighter 6. This character is very advanced. She's got a lot of moves, and her poison mechanic could be a little bit hard to get used to at first. By the end of this video, you should have a firm understanding on how the character works and a great foundation so that you can improve upon it. Like always, we should go over the normals first. She only has one 4-frame attack, and that's going to be her crouching light punch. This move chains into itself, and it's also gapless, so you can't mash through it. If you look at crouching light kick, crouching light punch, there's a small gap, so if they hit a button, they get counter hit. Because she doesn't have any defensive tools, this is her go-to light to try to get someone off of you. Her standing light punch is 5 frames, but it also is a target combo if you hit it twice. There is a big gap in between this, so if a person tries to mash, they will get hit by it. Unfortunately, on counter hit, you're only +2, because this move is meant to be cancelled. Her standing light kick is great. It hits far away, it's deceptive in its range, and can be cancelled. It does lose value because in cases where we usually would use the standing light kick, since it's 5 frames, we can also use standing medium punch. Standing light kick is 5 frames, and standing medium punch is 6 frames. So in cases where I would use this button here, I would definitely just use standing medium punch. Crouching light kick is awesome because the range is so good. It's not cancelable. You would think standing medium punch would be the go-to button because it does cover a lot of range, and she moves forward as she tries to attack. And also, you can cancel it. In ranges where standing medium punch will whiff, crouching medium punch has a deceptively long hitbox. This move covers much more space than you would think, and it's also cancelable. If you're trying to place a button in neutral, you would be hard-pressed to find a better button than this one here. Medium kick is amazing. Look at the range this covers. It's 9 frames, and it's a great whiff punish tool. On punish counter, you're +10, so you could do things like super, or even a level 3. And there's times in where even at that range there, you can hit a sweep. In Street Fighter 6, having a low medium kick that's cancelable is really important, but this move will catch people trying to walk backwards in a really long range. And this is important because if they're poisoned, they can't walk backwards without taking extra damage. Her down forward medium punch is an overhead, and it's only -2, which means it's safe on block. It might not be your turn, but Ryu cannot punish this on block. A.K.I's standing hard punch covers so much range, but the most important thing about it is it's cancelable really late. So this is a really easy confirm to do. Her standing hard punch covers so much range, but it's also cancelable into a second hit. You should try your best not to use this button on block. Turning the dummy on random block and practicing this confirm is super important. You can use this button to whiff punish from pretty far away. Hit 2 can apply poison, but on hit 2 can also detonate the poison as well. This would require 3 bars, and you do get damage afterwards, of course. But in this case here, if you can get the detonation, you can use 1 bar, apply poison, and set up your next engagement. Detonate, 1 bar drive rush, set up poison again, go in, get A.K.I, and then go in for a big damage. But that's for later. Forward heavy punch covers a lot of area, and it's a great button to whiff punish. This button is not special cancelable, however, it's super cancelable. And this move, although it's 16 frames, you would not feel it because she rears back first. Her pokes are really good, so you'll set this up a lot. Her down heavy punch is her sweep, and there's not much to report about this, but keep in mind, you move forward, so you're almost always in range to be punished. Hard kick is not only cancelable, it's a really good anti-air. It hits really high up. It hits almost behind her. Since this move is cancelable, we could set up spring. We could throw fireball afterwards. We can go into step, set up meaties as they land, use this to set up command grabs, or to just apply some pressure. We should become very close to this button. It sets up all of her offense. Down heavy kick is a great poke from far away. Not special cancelable, but it also is super cancelable, like forward heavy punch. You could use drive rush at the end of combos and pick up off the ground with crouching heavy kick, and you cancel it into super, you get extra damage. Last but not least is going to be forward hard kick. Forward heavy kick is +2 on block and lets you keep your pressure afterwards. On drive rush, this move can go almost full screen and allows you to combo afterwards. Forcing a person to block while they're poisoned is kind of dirty. And plus frames really don't come cheap in this game. So having the option to lock them down while they're poisoned and starting big combos is a really, really cool thing. Her air attacks are interesting. Her light kick sometimes looks like it should cross up, but it doesn't. And even though it can cross up, it's really not advised because her down heavy punch is so good as a cross up and very ambiguous. Her jumping strong is a launcher, and you can get juggles afterwards. If you're close, you can do something like this here and just get the poison. But if you want to drive rush after, your hard kick will whiff. But if you're far away and you're at the right height, you can get juggles like this. Her jumping medium kick doesn't cross up. However, it does hit pretty high up. Although, I would think this would be like a really, really nice button to use in the air. It's kind of inferior to heavy punch in every way. Heavy punch does more damage. It feels like it hits higher up. It gives you more frame advantage. This button is just really good. And we need to talk about her down to heavy punch. This move is so ambiguous. Sometimes it hits in the front, but lands in the back. And there's times where it crosses up and it looks like it should land in the front. This move is just ambiguous as all hell because where do you block afterwards? And if you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe to see more content like this. So before we talk about Aki's special moves, we need to talk about her poison mechanic. Aki has a lot of moves that will inflict poison to the opponent. And while they're in this poison state, a few things will happen. First, they'll take damage over time. Moves that will put the opponent in a poison state are going to be her target combo off of her heavy punch, any of her quarter circle forward lashes, her quarter circle back light punch, her nightshade pulse, and if you hit forward punch while the orb is out, it will detonate. Quarter circle back medium punch, which is her orchid spring. Quarter circle back heavy punch, her toxic wreath. Her venomous fang, which is sinister step first, 2 punch, and then punch to activate. Level 1 super. Level 2 super. Her OD cruel fate, which is quarter circle back 2 kicks, and her OD lash. If I hit Chun-Li with serpent lash, it applies the poison. If I hit her again while she's poisoned, it blows up. If you put a person in a poison state and you hit them with certain moves, it causes Toxic Blossom to blow up and allows you to combo afterwards. This is the knowledge gap of Aki. You have to keep track of when your opponent is poisoned and have combos inside and outside of poison. Not only that, but you also want to keep track of what you're doing on your knockdown and setting your opponent up for the next engagement so that you can get the most out of the poison state. Now that we know what the poison does, let's go over these specials. Nightshade Pulse is a projectile, and it's slow moving, so you can actually start to chase it. After you use this, if you use Drive Rush, you can use it to set up some pressure. If they get hit by it, free combo. This also is a projectile, so it will trade with other fireballs as long as they're not too low or too high. The OD version is 2 hits and will punish people not respecting it. Also, good to know, the OD version is plus on block. Her quarter circle back medium punch leaves a puddle and will keep your opponent poisoned as long as they're in the puddle, but also will give you the poison effect after it dissipates. This is strong because if a person is poisoned and they get hit by a poison attack, it detonates and they're no longer poisoned. Puddle will poison them, and if they get hit with a poison attack, it detonates, but when they get back up, they'll be re-poisoned. In this case here, Chun-Li is poisoned. I'm going to use the medium Serpent Lash, which detonates and allows for a combo afterwards. Poison, Serpent Lash, detonation, Serpent Lash, but afterwards I can't combo. If there's a puddle underneath and I do the same thing, detonation, I get another detonation because they're still poisoned while in the puddle. Simply put, while they're in the puddle, after you detonate, they'll get re-poisoned and it allows for more detonations. Detonation, detonation, reapply. There's 3 durations of poison. One is when you hit an opponent with a move that applies poison. They're only going to be poisoned for the amount of time the dot is on for. The second is going to be Orchid Spring. The duration is going to be for as long as they're in the poison, but when it goes away, it starts the timer of the poison dot over again. So they're in it for longer. They were poisoned for the amount of time that they were in the spring, but also as if they were hit by a special move at the end of the spring. The third is going to be her level 2. They'll be poisoned for as long as they're in the poison on the ground, and this lasts for a really long time. On top of it, once it goes away, they still have to deal with the duration as if they were poisoned by a special move starting now. And the whole time they were poisoned. So it's great to get the poison off of special moves. However, once you detonate, that's it. So keeping track of our poison allows us to set up for our next engagement and get knockdowns while also allowing us to put down our next poison. Her quarter circle back hard punch is a 2-hit special that applies poison. This move is -4 on block and does push back quite a bit. Some characters can punish this from up close, but most importantly, if you cancel it from something else, the pushback is even more. So in cases like this here, you can use this to keep yourself safe. People will try and hit buttons after this here. Just know you can set them up for a perfect parry. And if you get a read that they want to hit a light attack after this, it sets them up to be space trapped. This move is also very important in the corner because it allows you to juggle after her detonation. Her quarter circle forward lashes are very good because they're nice pokes and it applies poison. Quarter circle forward and light punch goes straight forward. Medium punch goes up in the air and hard punch goes straight up in the air. The heavy punch lash is a very good anti-air. It's very hard to beat this. And if they're poisoned, you get a juggle afterwards. I personally like to use the heavy punch lash because it allows you to get Oki afterwards and sets up for the next engagement. The knockdown leaves them close enough so that you can get Oki, and since they're poisoned, they're in a very dangerous state. Now, you have to take all of your damage. Quarter circle back kick is her Cruel Fate. This move is pretty ignorant. Cruel Fate has set distances based on what button you press. The light version will go a short amount of distance, the medium, longer, and the heavy, longer. Unfortunately, they don't track, so if you're close by and you use the wrong one, you can go over them. The light, you should always be fine on. The light on hit is... So, if they do want to mash afterwards, since you're +1, you can stuff them out of their next attack. If you use a light punch or a crouching light punch into Cruel Fate, you'll go right over them. But if you use the standing light kick and the medium Cruel Fate, you'll land right in front. Any medium or heavy that you cancel from will leave you in front as well. On the ground, you can't combo into this off of a heavy attack. However, if you get a punish counter or a drive rush, then you can combo. And you're +3 afterwards. The heavy version does leave you at +4, so you can combo after this. Unfortunately, you sail right over on hit. If you hit a hard kick punish counter, they get blown back. And if you look at the distance, well, now it's the perfect distance for the heavy Cruel Fate to hit. Important to note, all versions of Cruel Fate on block are the same. They're all -3, which means they're not punishable, but you also lose your turn. This changes when we talk about the OD version of Cruel Fate. Interestingly enough, we can control how far we go with Cruel Fate by holding the forward or back. So if we hold back, we go pretty close to the opponent. If we hold forward, we go further. If you hit a grounded opponent, it does a hit grab and will cause poison. On block, we're +2. Which means if they want to press buttons afterwards, we could use Crouching Light Punch, and this will allow us to confirm whether or not they're blocking or if they're getting hit. If we do hit OD Cruel Fate in a juggle, if they're high enough, we can juggle into it, and it causes a ground bounce, which allows us to do combos afterwards. Her Snake Step is quarter circle forward kick and has 3 versions. The light one goes nowhere. It's a little fake. It can go under some projectiles. The medium one goes about half screen. The heavy goes almost full screen. The OD version will travel the full screen and land right in front. The medium one will not cross over, but the heavy one will cross through them. It doesn't matter if you start close or far away, you're always going to end up around the same area. Lashes are a great way to fight back against zoners because they do clash with fireballs. It's also cool to know that we can cancel the level 3 off of a clash, and if we're close enough, we get the level 3. The OD version will clash with the fireball but pull them in, poisoning them, and we could combo into a poison attack to detonate. If they're not poisoned, they will be after the hit, we detonate, and then we can go into a big combo afterwards, leading into a level 3, a level 2, or even a level 1. Unfortunately, it's hard to do on reaction as it's slow to start up. If we have a read on the fireball, we can use Cruel Fate to go over. This is nice because it's safe on block. The OD version is much faster and can almost be done on reaction, but not really. You still need a read. Technically, you can go under fireballs with Snake Step, but your opponent will recover by that point. Depending on the speed of the fireball, you can go underneath them with the light step. It only works for fast-moving fireballs. I don't care what the trailer said, even if we get a read on them, we could be punished for trying to go through them with EX Step. So you are invincible coming out of it, but if you do it wrong, you'll be punished big time for it. And her last special is going to be her Sinister Slide. This is activated by doing down 2 punch, and she has options out of it. It low profiles, so you can go underneath a lot of things. Snake Step is really low to the ground, so you can actually cause DIs to whiff. Like Snake Step, you can use Step to also avoid DIs. So in this case here, instead of doing a DI to counter, you could use this chance to punish even harder. See a lot of people going for DI when you use Slide, and it looks something like this here. But if we let it cook instead, we can make the DI completely whiff. So what moves can be done out of Sinister Slide? Down 2 punch to go into Slide, and we hit up to leave Slide. This can be used to avoid some fireballs, but keep in mind, we can lose the drive rush. If we go into Slide and then hit kick, we do Heal Strike. This move is -3 on block, which means it's no longer our turn, but we're also safe. We can cancel heavy kick into Slide and then use Heal Strike out of it. If we do it fast enough, we get a combo. Heal Strike is +4, which means we can combo out of it. Make sure to use Crouching Light Punch as it's 4 frames, and Standing Light Punch is 5 frames. That won't combo. So we can do the combo heavy kick, slide, kick, light, light into quarter circle forward heavy punch. This is a big staple for our offense. If we do slide into punch, we do Venomous Fang. This is highly punishable, but it poisons on hit. If we hit heavy kick punish counter, we can go into venomous strike and we'll poison. But since it's a poison move, anytime that they are already poisoned and we use venomous fang, we get a crumple. If they're already poisoned, we can get this nice combo here off of the venomous fang. And then set up for our next poison. But remember how I said the puddle lasts longer than the poison and allows for more combo opportunities? If there's a puddle underneath them, we get more combo opportunity. And we get this nice fat combo here. This would really only happen if we put the puddle down during a setup and they use a reversal. The puddle's already down, which means we get this big fat combo. If we use heavy kick, step into kicks, that's a nice little frame trap because if they press a button in between, they will get hit by it. And once we train a person not to press buttons here, this brings us to our next option. Out of slide, if we do throw, we have a command grab. Once you get a person to stop pressing buttons, well, guess what? They might be afraid to press buttons there, and then you can command grab them. Unfortunately, this does not reset poison. So I think it's better to do the command grab. And when they want to throw out a light attack to beat the throw, that's when we use the step. This is tricky because after a throw, we can do a heel kick and beat out buttons. But most people at this range are not going to press buttons, so we can go straight to the command grab. What I love about this character is that you can get very creative. You can use step and then cancel to bait them into pressing buttons. And once they stop and they're afraid to hit buttons, that's when we could do the command grab. Let's go over her supers real quickly. Her double quarter circle forward kick is her deadly implication and will leave the opponent in a poisoned state. Her double quarter circle back punch is her tainted talon. Depending on what button you press to confirm the super will determine the distance in which she places the pudding. Light will be close by. Medium and heavy will be full screen. This can punish fireballs from full screen, but keep in mind, if you get hit during this, there's no invincibility and you will get hit out of it. However, if you can hit the fireball, it should eat the fireball. Most importantly to me is the fact that it leaves a pudding afterwards. So if you combo into it, if you look, it leaves a larger puddle and they are forced to deal with being poisoned constantly and dealing with multiple detonations while they're in the puddle. The misconception about this super is that it's not just for damage, it's also an install and will allow you to do extra damage through multiple detonations after they're stuck in the pudding. This will take more testing, and we need to look more into this super. I think this is her best super. Her level 3 super art is Claws of Yazi, and it doesn't go as far as you might think. She moves forward, but as you see, it whiffs there. It is her biggest damage super art and should be used to close off round or to put your opponent in burnout. So let's go over some combos to get you started. Light, light, light into quarter circle forward. Heavy punch is a great way to get started because it poisons and knocks down and you're close to them. Her standing medium kick, although not cancelable, is also +6 on hit. So if you hit this move, you can combo into a stand strong and you can get the knockdown from there. Her stand strong is also drive rush cancelable. This move is +6, and if you drive rush into it, you're now +10, which is just enough to standing medium kick, standing hard kick. Again, we have a combo that looks like this. We can get A.K.I, and then when we're in there, cornered, big damage. Standing hard kick could be canceled in slide and then heel step by hitting the kick button again. Hard kick down to punch and then kick to go into the heel strike. After this, we're +4. So we can do light, light into quarter circle forward, heavy punch. So we can do heavy kick, slide, heel step. That also means off the previous combo, we could do the same thing. Slide, heel step, light, light, quarter circle forward, heavy punch. If you want to go into a level 3, I advise instead of doing quarter circle forward, heavy punch, which does 700 damage, you instead use Toxic Wreath and cancel on the second hit. That does 800 damage. So the combo will look something like this. And if you want to add the drive rush sequence before it, with A.K.I, it's super important to get your offense on knockdown straight because you don't want to miss the opportunity of using your poison, because once they are poisoned, you do get the hit, you want to make the most of it. In this case here, I poison them with my target combo. I chase down with crouching medium kick, which causes a counter hit. From here, I can combo into heavy kick. From there, we go into drive rush and we go into the combo that I showed you earlier, and we end with quarter circle forward heavy punch. But since they're poisoned, I now get a juggle after it because it detonates. Because the quarter circle forward heavy punch detonates, I can do Toxic Wreath, the juggle, drive rush, heavy kick, step into Venomous Fang. And then we end with the level 3. One last time, we'll look at the sequence. In that same case, you could also drive rush into a throw. You could also drive rush into the heel step. Or drive rush into a command grab. If the opponent is already poisoned, we could use the hard lash and then combo into the light lash. This will re-poison them. If your opponent is poisoned and you can hit a medium, you can go into quarter circle forward medium punch, which would cause them to get crumpled. From here, you could do something like this. And then you could re-poison them with the target combo. If there's a puddle underneath them, you can get even more off of it. Because they'll be detonated, and then you could combo afterward. If they're already poisoned and you pop them with the target combo, you can do this combo here. Keep in mind that you can always have the option to end your combo early and put down pudding for your next engagement. After a drive impact, you could neutral jump, drive rush hard kick, slide into Venomous Fang. Now, if they're poisoned, like we knock them down first, they wake up with DI. When we hit Venomous Fang after the juggle, we'll get even more jungle potential. And if they're ever in burnout and we hit the stun, we can put these Orchid Spring down first, go for the Venomous Fang, hard kick, OD lash, Venomous Wreath, drive rush, hard kick, slide, Fang, drive rush, forward hard kick, light lash into level 3. I like using the OD lash because it pulls them in, but if they're poisoned already, the OD lash will hit a detonation and allow for more combo ability. But if that's not an option, because they're poisoned, we could end in heavy lash to detonate. If we drive rush into low medium kick, we can also combo into low medium punch. This allows for a combo into OD lash, which means we could detonate into a light lash. And if we're in the corner and we go into OD lash, we could detonate into heavy lash, wreath, drive rush into Venomous Fang, put down the poison, and we're ready to go for our next engagement. Keep in mind, if we drive rush overhead, we're +6 and we can combo into medium punch. Or we could drive rush after it, medium kick, hard kick, step, into our bread and butter. I also would recommend practicing the timing of a drive rush overhead on wake up to make sure it hits meaty. This is important for a few reasons. You can catch them trying to hit a button, and if they just were trying to block low, you can catch them blocking low, drive rush, bread and butter, and they're still poisoned here, right? So if they're in the corner, wreath, fang, low medium kick into level 3. So that was just an overview of her normals, her specials, how her poison works, and some combos to get you started. I really like this character, so I'll be making a lot of content for her. This channel is known for deep dive videos about concepts for characters like Jury and now A.K.I. And if you want to see content like that, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified when I drop a video. If you have any questions about this video or the character as a whole, make sure to leave it in the comment section below. I'll be answering every question I get there. If this video was helpful at all, make sure to hit the like button, and that will help this video reach more people just like you in their quest to learn A.K.I. And I hope this video served you and brought you value. On the screen in front of you will be the video of me going over A.K.I.'s combo trials. If you want to learn more combos, that's the video to go to. And I hope to see you guys over there. Have a good one.